to the refill. Welcome to the refill. I'm your host, Ron Daniel. Listen, we got another great episode for y'all, man. Listen, for y'all who tuned in, for y'all that been rocking with us every week, y'all already know how we get down. But for those who just now jumping on this thing, this is a podcast dedicated to the Christian rap culture. We celebrate everything that the artists do, the DJs do, the promoters do, the influencers all around the globe. And listen, we got another great show with another great host. Listen, this brother here is a everything in gospel rap. Listen, he's a beat producer, a producer, mix engineer, mastering engineer, artist, everything. We're going to bring them on right now. Mr. Majestic Soundz. What's happening?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
Man, we got you in the game. We got you in the game, bro. Listen, hey, introduce yourself, bro. We're going to get into this thing.
I am Majestic Soundz, for those of you who don't know.
Yes, sir.
Also known as Mr. Purple. I'm straight out of Memphis, Tennessee. I am an artist / producer / engineer. Man, anything pertaining to gospel music, I done it.
Already. Bro, hey, man, let me go back a little bit. I remember... I tell people all the time, man, I say, you know, I keep my ear to the ground, everything gospel rap. I done seen it, I done heard it, I know where it's coming from, I know what it smell like, I know it. Bro, yeah. Take us all the way back, man. What got you, I always lead off with this question, what got you involved with gospel rap to say, you know what, this the lane I better jump in and I better stay in?
Honestly, man, when I truly gave my life to the Lord, man, you know, when you going to church with grandma and dad and mama and them, they making you go to church.
Right.
But I started doing music when I was around 13 years old. But when I became a Christian, I started basically studying the Word of God and just try to solidify my relationship with the Lord first and foremost.
Right.
So I used to basically just, man, lock myself in a room, read the Bible and pray and drink some water and go right back in the room, read the Bible and pray again.
Right.
Just try to, man, build my personal relationship with the Lord. And, man, after all that fasting and praying and seeking the Lord and reading His Word, He just put on my mind that, yeah, you can still do music, but just do it for me.
Right,
so
right.
That's I just do gospel rap, man. It was about, honestly, that was like 99, 2000 to be honest, man.
Right. So you in the game, bro. You ain't a vet in it. You a mega vet. You done seen it and heard it, and so and I love talking to the yes sir triple OG Joker. Hey, I love talking to the cats, man. This been in it over time. Now listen, whoever watching this, if you an artist, it ain't nothing against y'all if y'all just started maybe 1 or 2 years, 5 years. But I'm talking about cats that been in it 20 some odd years, that just seen the ups and downs, the dips, the flows, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the ugly. You know what I'm saying? That they've been there and seen it. So, bro, let me ask this, man. So you jump in the game, and what was your first initial thoughts of gospel rap pertaining to you in Memphis? You 2 hours away from my garage, dog. So you in Memphis, what was your first thoughts on, okay, this is what gospel rap is, or this is what gospel rap, this is what it's not? Like, what was your first thoughts on it?
Well, man, when I first heard it, or when I first started doing it,
but
it was very scriptural based. Very spiritual, very. It wasn't a lot of metaphors. It wasn't a lot of punchlines.
Right.
Rapping. It was like, man, the only metaphors you would probably hear was talking about he'll make you clean like Clorox or Tide.
Right.
It was about just being clean, being holy, being covered in the blood, sanctification, talking about the Holy Ghost.
Right.
It was church. It was like church for the streets, basically.
Right,
you know
right, right.
Saying?
I like that. Right.
It wasn't a whole lot of my punchlines and metaphors at all, man. It just wasn't. It was really scriptural based. But the beats though was so hard though.
Right,
the beats
right,
was
right.
so hard. We just took the beats, and I don't know what we did with them beats. I guess we dripped them in some blood, because them beats sounded anointed by themselves before we on them beats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so my in the beginning, and then for me, before I even started performing it, like I was giving it to my co-workers, and I was giving it to my friends and close relatives and associates and stuff like that. That was before I even performed it. So we talking about 99, 2000, man.
Right.
And when it really started picking up steam in Memphis and the surrounding areas, then I started performing it. And that took about, I'd say 2003. It took like another 2 years really before it picked up steam down south in the Memphis area.
Right. That's what's up. Hey, bro, real quick. Hey, raise your camera up. I can only see from your nose down.
All right.
Just raise up just a little bit. There it is. Yeah, you good. You in the game. Hey, so let me ask you this, bro. Yeah. So now you coming out of Memphis, coming out of M-Town. I tell everybody it's only one M-Town. Ain't no other M-Towns. All these other M-Towns, they fake. I heard somebody close to me talking about they got an M-Town in Texas somewhere. I said, no, that ain't M-Town. That ain't Memphis, Joker. I said, it's only one M-Town, man.
No, that ain't
right. So, hey, you in M-Town getting down, man, and M-Town, man, I'm talking about, to me, this is my personal opinion, it's just flooded with gospel rappers, man. I'm talking about, I'm in Arkansas, I'm in Little Rock, so it's like what Memphis got in a city, it's equivalent to what we got in the whole state, dog, not just in this city. So you in Memphis moving around, what's the scene like? You know, I'm always in Memphis, man. You know, before COVID, hopefully when COVID gone, you know.
We want to let the people know.
Right.
So, the people know.
So the scene in Memphis, how's the gospel rap scene in Memphis? You know, just moving around and networking and all that good stuff, man.
Man, actually, it's a good rapport in Memphis. Now, I can be honest with you and say it could be better, but man, I can go all the way back to, I'll bring it up because I was talking about 2003, I think, when I stopped.
Right.
So I bring it up maybe to mine around, I'll say 2008 on up to now, man. It's just, like you said, a lot of gospel rappers and contemporary gospel singers. Right. I've been able to work with all of them, man. Basically, we just look on Facebook and the other social media platforms and see what got something going on, and we'll just go to it and introduce ourselves to each other and exchange numbers. And before you know it, we build relationships with each other and start jumping on music together with each other, man. That's basically how it went down, man. And we still rocking with each other today. Some of them I got a chance to, like I said, produce for. If I haven't produced for them, I probably engineered for them.
Right.
I probably mix a beat or mix vocals. Or I've been in the studio with 1,000 of them. It's done shows with 1,000 of them. Went out of town with 1,000 of them.
Right.
It just, man, it's like it just came out of nowhere. It's just a wave of gospel rappers just came out of nowhere, man. Everybody just really, to be honest, I'd say they heard myself, Mr. Dale, BBJ,
right,
and some couple of other gospel rappers. I can't name them all, but during that early time period, it was gospel rappers all over the United States, but it wasn't a lot. But we had the opportunity to hear those, and it just touched our hearts, and it made us want to do it as well. And man, before I knew it, man, I looked around. It was just everybody was just really doing it. Some, I say, majority of them are still doing it to this day.
Right.
And again, I've had the pleasure to work with almost everybody. I think you already know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
everybody. And it just became a big circle. And we if we couldn't make it to one person event, we was gonna make it to the next person. It was just so many events. We'll do, man, you'll see the same person at 3 or 4 events in one night.
Right. You know been there.
It was just so many of us doing it, and so many different avenues and opportunities, man. Right. So many youth ministries and so many prison ministries, even bar and grills, man, even clubs.
Yes, sir.
You know, welcome. We done been something everywhere spreading the gospel, man, and that's what it's all about. That's
what's up, and man, I'm talking about, man. I started laughing because hey, I remember, man, years ago. Shout out to Super Mario and C. Michael for doing the crunk. Remember the crunk that was on I think it's on 3rd Street. I think on 3rd. And I can't think of buddy name. His spot right there on the corner. You got to park in the back of that thing. And so.
Talking about the Raymond's Jones, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I remember, you know, just from those times, you know, I tell people all the time, I said, man, I said, you know, whenever I talk about, especially gospel rap in the South, you know, you got what we doing here, Houston, Dallas, Memphis, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, you know, Birmingham, Montgomery, just all these different spots in the South. That, you know, we either been there together, we done crossed paths leaving from there or going to there, you know. And so I tell people all the time, I said, man, but Memphis, I remember, let me say this, bro. I remember the first time I went to Memphis rapping, it had to been maybe 03, 04. And around that time, 03, 04. Yeah. And that was when they had the Orlando Drapers Conference, and Mr. Dale was hosting it. And that's my first time meeting everybody. Mr. Dale, Super, everybody in that room, Percy, all them boys. And so, when we go on there, man, we come from the Rock Town. We say, hey, man, we got to go super hard. We in these boys' backyard. We got to shut it down, let these boys know. We ain't come to play. Man, I got home that next day, man, the Lord said, you ain't did nothing, Joker. You better go in there and start ministering that gospel. You in there trying to, hey, we in there swinging towels, man, throwing water, man. Hey, Lord said, you ain't did nothing. You better slow that thing down and talk to these people. Hey, bro, let me ask you this, bro. So now you moving around, man. Let's talk about this Mr. Purple, man. Where does Mr. Purple come from, man? Talk about that Mr. Purple.
Man, we already know that's the color of royalty,
yes, sir.
Man.
Yes, sir.
Basically, man, just God dropped it in my spirit to do a song about purple, man.
Right.
About, you know what I'm saying, the purple, also the color of peace as well.
Right.
You know, when you become a Christian, you become a part of the royal priesthood, basically.
Already.
So, man, I just was at work one day, man, riding on the forklift. We talking about 2011 right now.
Right.
So I was out one day riding on the forklift, and God just dropped a song in my spirit. And so I decided to, you know what I'm saying, go home and write to it, man. And it just caught fire in the city, man. Before I knew it, it was on several radio stations. We were performing it everywhere. So, man, it just caught fire, man.
Man, that thing, man, look at that. I tell people, I said, man, that's why I know. I know y'all know Majestic Soundz. I know Mr. Purple. So Mr. Purple.
Right.
Hey, bro. So, bro.
Man, everybody was one person, man.
Yes, sir.
They really,
yes, sir. Yeah. Let me ask you this, bro. So now, take us back to that first project. I always like to get in the head and the mindset of the artist, not the project today, because you know with time you get better and all that stuff. We know that. But take us back to that first project, bro. What was the mindset? Take us through how you put it together. You know, as far as like, oh man, I'm putting a whole album together now, and I got to do it this way, I got to do it that way, and I hope the people rock with it. You know, take us through that mindset, man, putting that first one together.
Well, man, the very, very first one was an EP that I released, man.
Right.
And like I told you earlier, back in those days, man, you weren't really thinking about, man, distributing, going through like some kind of company to
right.
play your music for you. So basically, I was just handing it out to just different people. But I was fresh off the banana boat, man. You already know you coming hard. You really didn't have no target. You know what I mean? No,
right.
particular audience that you was targeting. You was just anybody you see, you know,
Right.
Anybody you know. You was giving them the gospel, man, the best way you knew how at that time, until you know God give you more wisdom as you do what you do. You know, He give you more direction as you do, as you go along. It's kind of like being a parent or being married, man. You don't know everything about marriage when you jump into marriage. You don't know everything about being a parent when you become a parent. You just learn as you go.
Already.
That was the situation with that first project, man. I was just going and learning as I go. But I had the foundational thing, and that's Jesus Christ, man.
Right. And that's the thing. I'm glad you brought that up, cause it seems like a lot of cats these days, it's like they trying to, you know, you mentioned earlier about, you know, having that word mixed in with them dope beats, and now these cats just saying anything now, rat, cat, spat, black, Jesus. Like, man, what did he say, man? We heard that, but y'all saying, man. Right.
It's okay.
Right. So I'm like, say, man, what these boys talking about, man? So, hey, man, let me ask you this, man. So now you on the you know, making the beats, mixing and mastering side of the game too in gospel rap. And I'm gonna say this before you answer that. One thing that I know I've seen personally, I know you've seen it too, is that over the years, the beat structures, the beats, and not necessarily the rhyming. The rhyming I think was always there, but the beat structure. I mean, the beats then came a long way from when they started. You know, I heard some things. I'm like, hey man, these things compared to, you know, I was listening. Hey, I was in the bed listening to some to some. You know, I tell people I still bump CDs, Joker. So I got like number of packs and packs of CDs from just artists I've just kept over the years. I was listening. Sometimes I just pop them in and just listen. I say, hey man, that thing, you know, them boys came a long way. You know, so I'm just listening to it. So talk about the beat structure and what's your mindset in putting them beats together. Cause man, them things bumping, man. It's like every time you pull them out the oven, they ready to eat, man. Every time, man. I gotta get down there to get some of that too, man.
Okay.
Yes,
you
sir.
Already know what TCO.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir.
Yo, man.
Yes, sir. Shout out that boy TCO Charles Lee.
Yeah, man. I gotta be honest with you, man. It's a lot of education that I have concerning the process of making beats, but also, man, it's spiritual as well, man.
Right.
You know, it's a gift from God. Bottom line,
I
gotta give God the glory on that, man. First of all, you gotta have the gift of making. That's number one.
Right.
And if you don't have the gift of making music, but you have the love, your love can drive you to a certain point. And then you need to get with somebody like myself who can teach you and guide you through, you know, making the beat. But man, honestly, man, I started making beats around 13 years old, man. I started all around 13 years old. So I had the opportunity to be around other musicians. I also came out the womb, my mom womb, playing drums too.
Right.
So that's another thing. Like, if you know how to play drums, man, you're gonna be a decent producer. Another thing I know how to do is play the organ. I know how to play the piano. So I'm actually a musician.
Right.
But at the same time, some musicians don't know how to produce.
Right.
Producing is the gift of being able to combine sounds together in an organizational way, using a melody, a second melody, and accompany instruments in order to make a beat that somebody can rap or sing to.
Already.
And so in order to make, let's say if you're doing contemporary gospel and you're working with a guy like my boy, shout out to Eric Taylor. If you're working with a guy like Eric Taylor, you have to study Eric Taylor. He actually has a H-Town feel to his music and an R. Kelly feel to his music. But he's a gospel artist. So you have to study whoever you making beats for. And honestly, you got to make a lot of beats before you even present any of your beats to any real artist. Make a whole lot of, make your mistakes, learn as much as you can, and you will finally become a good producer over a period of time. Every now and then, you will probably luck up and make a few good ones. But honestly, you ain't ready until you start getting consistent with making good. Like you said about me, I'm very consistent. Like every beat I make be really good, but that took time.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And just get with a lot of producers, a lot of musicians, and learn from them. And I think the Bible says, "Iron sharpens iron."
Yes,
so just learn from them. Anybody that's willing to teach you, learn. I tell that to anybody that's trying to become a producer, a real producer, that want to learn how to play basic piano notes first and want to learn how to play drums first. They want to learn the foundational things before they jump on the sequencer or jump on Fruity Loops or jump on Reasons, all these different programs, and make beats. I had to say all that first to say this. My process is basically getting a good melody. Without a good melody, you have nothing. You ain't got no melody, I don't care what kind of drums you put on it, I don't care what kind of accompanying instruments you put with it, it's gonna sound like something wrong until you get your melody right. So that's really my secret, I guess you can say, of making dope beats for a long period of time. Even when music changed, music probably changed, the style of beats probably changed every 3 to 5 years, give or take. And the way I stay ahead or in front of it is basically be creative and innovative as possible and make it sound relevant with the time. That's what I do.
Already, I'm gonna unpack all that because it's like you hit it on the head, man. I like when you said you gotta study, and you know what I found over the years. I tell people this all the time. I'm speaking, doing gospel rap in my city. I tell people out there, say, man, how is it that you able to just stay on top of the game, so to say? I said, I study like a fool. I said, I really do. I said, I said the way, especially now the way the internet is set up now with YouTube and Google, you can search and watch videos and say, okay, I'm gonna do it like this, and let me just tweak it, add my own thing to it. It makes it easier. But I said, but you still gotta study. And I like what you said about how music changed so many times. Let me ask you this, bro. With the way music changing, a lot of I'm just gonna speak rap across the board, not just specifically gospel rap. Everybody sound like robots, man. Everybody sounds the same. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm glad I've seen cats that, I don't name drop cats, but I've seen cats that come in one way, and now it's like they done jumped off the freeway and got in the robot line. Now they sound like everybody else. I say, man, that ain't what it is, man. Everybody sound the same, like a cookie cutter. Like they say, like they all go to the same rap school or something. Bro, what's your thoughts on that? Good or bad? Bro, I know you see it, man. I see it too. I'm like, say, man, all these boys, man. I was like, come on, man.
Well, Dad, what you say? They all went to the same rap school and graduated from the same.
They get, hey, man, hey, man, they went to a one-day class, man. They got a certificate. They go to the rap school, Joker, one-day class, and all y'all can sound the same. I said, come on, man. Hey, I miss that creativity, man. Where you knew, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm in the rock town. When I cross that bridge and go into Memphis, Memphis has a sound. You said, man, that's Memphis. I mean, from the time you get in Memphis to the time you get up out of Memphis, headed to Nashville, or you headed down through Mississippi somewhere, you say, no, Memphis is Memphis. That's a Memphis sound. I think that's cultivated over time in that city. And so, like, my city don't have a sound. You know, that I'm one of the cats here that I beat the drum like, hey man, we need a sound. You know, we need to cultivate a sound that could try to sound like everybody else, you know. And so, man, what's your thoughts on these boys, man? You know, however you want to answer, man. They just all, and it's like nothing leaked over and bled over into gospel rap now, and everybody just sounding the same.
Okay, man, you said a mouthful just in that one sentence there. Well, can I just talk about Memphis Sound for 1 second?
Go
if
ahead.
You don't mind?
Go ahead.
All right, so the Memphis Sound, with you, if you want to be honest, and I'm talking about all across the board, not just Christian hip hop,
Right.
but all across the board, most of the Memphis Sound come from the Showboys Trigger Man song.
Right.
Remember that?
Right. Oh, so, you done went back. Go ahead and explain to everybody, man.
I'm going all the way back.
Yes, sir. Explain that thing. I know where you're going. Go ahead.
And then we got some of Sir Mix-a-Lot, My Posse on Broadway sound. We got some of that. His other song, he got another song. I can't think of it right now. So we got some Seattle, because Sir Mix-a-Lot from Seattle.
Right.
So we got Seattle sound, some of that Trigger Man sound. I think it's another cat named MC Twist did a song called I Like It Loud. We got some of that. And we got some of Rodney-O and Cooley, that Everlasting Bass song.
Right.
And then what happened was, this group came about. Well, let me go on and give him credit too. DJ Squeaky came on the scene.
I remember DJ Squeaky.
DJ Squeaky came on the scene and added something to it with A-Ball and MJG.
Right.
Skinny Pimp. Then you got 3 6 Mafia, of course. DJ Paul, UCJ, and all the rest of them, right?
Right.
Then you got this cat from Black Haven named Tila.
Yeah.
That made it a little more sophisticated, but yet it was dope.
Right.
So you got a lot of cats that pour into it. And then when the gospel rap came on, I'm gonna be honest, Mr. Dale, Fro, Young Titan, Super Mario, Pure Breed, myself, and a few more other people added to that sound.
Right.
So that's really how that Memphis Sound came about, man. All those people I just named, even including myself, as an artist and as a producer, man. I just have to be honest and give just credit to who I should give it to, man.
Right.
I probably missed a few people, but how do I feel about how music is going now? How everybody sounding the same? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Honestly, man, it's not good. You remember in the late 90s how you knew when Mystical was on the radio?
Yes, sir.
You didn't have to second guess that was Mystical, or there was Juvenile, or there was Mix, or there was Nas, or there was Jay-Z.
Right.
Or even in the 80s when we was more R&B driven, and even in the 80s when we listened to Whitney Houston or Bobby Brown or Babyface or Patti LaBelle.
Right. You knew the difference.
Nobody didn't sound the same. So here's my answer to it. Everybody needs their own sound.
Already.
You need to go back in the studio. Don't get mad at me, y'all.
Hey, let them boys get mad, man. They know what they need to do, man. Let them boys get mad, man.
Go back to the studio and work on your craft.
Yes,
I'm gonna say
sir.
it one more time. Go back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like the old songwriter said, go back to the altar.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Down on your knees.
Yes, sir. And get that thing right.
And get it right, because along the way you didn't start listening. And this another thing. Here's a good note. Write this down. Make a mental note. When you're working on your album, do not listen to nobody else's music.
There you go.
Do not listen to nobody else's music.
There you go.
When you're working on your own album, because you're going to sound just like the other person. And that's what happened. People be like, ooh, I like how this person sound. I like how that person sound. But is that your sound?
Right,
you need to go back in and develop your own sound. Record enough songs. Record enough music. And then have a listening party. And don't get all the yes, sir, and yes, ma'am people.
Yes, sir.
Get all the people who tell you the truth about your music.
Already.
That's what you got to do.
Bro, bro, let me tell you something, man. You hit on head. Look here. This ain't that safe podcast. I tell people they think I always gospel rap, they just gonna be talking about Jesus and his holy word. I said, we love the Lord, Joker, but the truth gonna come out eventually. I tell cats, I said, man, what you hit it on the head, dog. I'm like, get in that studio, man. Don't be listening to everybody music. Make your own sound. And you hit it on the head where you said just a few years ago there was a distinction. You knew who was doing what. Even I'm gonna say that, even in gospel rap, you knew who was doing what. When I listened to your music, I said, hey man, that's Mr. Purple. I already know. Y'all just did that jump with you and Slim Visa. As a matter of fact, I ain't seen the song. I saw y'all on the stage recently. That thing bumping, but that's y'all. You see what I'm saying? When I hear Preacher Man, that's Preacher Man. When I hear Mr. Dale, that's Mr. Dale. When I hear them boys out of Houston, slowed and chopped and screwed, that's them boys in Houston. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I said, man, these cats, it's like these boys want to cut out all, they want to go from A to Z without working B to Y. They don't want to work nothing in the middle, man, to figure out their style and have they own flavor, they own, you know what it is, just that distinction. And they just want to say, okay, I'm gonna sound like Buddy, and they just sit in the room, they put it in the car, they download it, they stream it, and they just study whoever sound like whatever. They say, okay, I'm gonna go in the studio, and then they come to you and say, hey man, make it sound just like this. Cut all the auto tune on, cut all the effects on my voice. I'm gonna sound like, come on, man. We ain't gonna do that, man. Come on, man. Y'all got to be yourself. And these boys, man, it's like, go ahead, man.
Man, people want to take the easy route out.
Right, man. They want that easy way.
And it's hot right now. This hot.
Right.
But see, you're lazy. You gotta work and make your sound hot.
Yes, sir.
That's work. That means after you put out your stuff, you gotta promote and you gotta put some money behind that.
Yes, sir. Talk about that.
Most people do not want to do it, and I'm telling you the truth. We already a small market as gospel rappers, Christian hip hop. It's a small market.
Yes, sir.
So whether you want to admit it or not, we are competing against other genres of music.
Bro, let me tell you something, man. Hey, that door behind you, I just sent somebody to bring the offering tray. They finna bring you the offering money right now. Look here, bro.
Yeah.
You hit it on the head, man. I tell people all the time, man, this a different kind of podcast, man, because I've been preaching spending money and gospel rap forever, man. I done ran across cats say, man, I'm gonna do this for the Lord. I'm gonna do it for free. And I was there for just a real small time early on until the Lord's like, no, you need some money to move around. And I tell cats, I said, man, we have to understand that, in the beginning, everybody was like, okay, it's ministry over industry. And I still rock with that. I understand that notion. I get it. I'm 10 toes down with that. But I tell cats also, I said, we have to remember that we're in a music industry. You know what I'm saying? And I told the cat, he said, but no, man, it's ministry before industry. I said, do you sell music at your shows? Yeah. Do you sell merchandise at your shows? Yeah. Do you sell whatever? Yeah. I said, you in the industry, dog. I said, now whether you accept that or not, you there to make money at your table. You in the industry. And it take money to move around, like you said, the marketing and the promoting, and you got the. And like you said, with man, it's so much you just said, man. With the gospel rap, I tell people all the time, bro. It's like for every 1,000 rappers, it's only like one gospel rapper for every 1,000 rappers out there.
Yep.
I said when them boys make music, they can shoot it to the strip club DJ, the radio DJ, all these DJs to get their song hot. They can go to over here to whoever can make their video. It's a cat out of Memphis. I follow him on Instagram. I can't think of his name. He shoot everybody videos. Them street boys. All I see him, he be in and out them things. I can't think of his name, but he just wrapped his whole van down. He just go coast to coast shooting video. So they have that marketing monster behind them that we don't. You know, but bro, let me ask this.
That means we gotta work even harder.
Right. Instead of us thinking like, I'm a gospel rapper, I'm gonna drop this song and everybody gonna like it. I said, no, man, that ain't hard work. That ain't hard work. Bro, talk about a little more about that marketing side, man, because I think for me, I tell people this all the time. I say, man, I've been in gospel rap long enough to see the flaws of it. And one of the flaws is that business side. We talking about marketing and advertising, and you have to take your money and pump it into your projects, or pump it like we do this podcast. We pumping it to the podcast to get some eyes and ears seeing and hearing. You know, so talk about that marketing side, man.
Yeah, man. Basically, man, you got to put some money in them DJs' hands, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You gotta go to the highways and byways and compel men.
Right.
You have been commissioned to spread the gospel.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Why do people think that's not a part of it? It's a part of it.
It's a big part. Yes, sir. It's a big part of
it. We gotta digest that, take it, soak it in, and apply it to our ministry. It's ministry.
Right.
That's what it is. You got to do evangelistic work from a gospel rapper's perspective.
Right.
It's evangelistic. Right. That's what Paul told Timothy. I know I sound like I'm preaching, but I just got to give it like it is.
Go ahead.
That's what Paul told Timothy. He said, make full proof of your ministry. Do the work of an evangelist.
Yes, sir.
We are full rap Christian hip hop evangelists.
Yes, sir.
That's what we are.
Yes, sir.
So if you got to go to LA and do a show, you need to be over in LA doing that show, because that's part of marketing and promoting.
Right.
And I'm be real with you. You need a whole team with you.
Yes, sir.
You need a team. Everybody can't rap. Everybody can't produce. Everybody can't sing, but everybody can promote.
Already. You hit on the head, man.
Everybody can promote, and if people do not want to work, I hate to say it, but I got to say it. If people do not want to help you and help you promote and push the gospel, why are they around?
Man, cut them boys loose.
If you can't help me while I'm at ground 1, don't worry about when I get up to level 10.
Yes, sir.
You got to start now. So I say, man, even if you have to work a part-time job just to fund your album or your single or your EP, do just that. Get a promotional team. Get a marketing team.
Right.
Have a conference call. Get around the table. And everybody bounce ideas off each other concerning the concept and the direction of your album and of your project. And then you go from there. And then you hit up different churches, different venues, and put on an event concerning your album release party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Do things of that nature to promote your album. Otherwise, nobody ain't gonna never hear it.
Sure, right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the sad part. People be having great music, great content, but they sleep on the promotional end.
Man, I'm talking about be napping, man. And look here, you talking about a whole lot of holy hustling right now, man. And these boys, man, look here. Hey, I tell these boys, man, I said, man, look here. It is work, man. And people don't understand. They looking at this podcast. I said, he just cut on some lights and a camera and start talking. I said, no, man. It's real work behind this thing and maintaining it and what you've been doing. Let me say this for whoever watching. Majestic Soundz been getting down for 20 years. You got to love the game to do it for 20 years, man. That's some old Tom Brady type stuff right there. No, Tom Brady, Tom Brady 43, man. Look at, I can't stand Tom Brady, man. But after he won that last Super Bowl, I said, okay, man, I put some respect on this name, man. I'm gonna leave old Tom Brady alone because I'm a Saints fan. I sure don't like him now, man, because he in the same division with us. But that's some Tom Brady. Go ahead, bro.
Everybody tired of seeing Tom Brady though. Everybody tired of him winning. So you know what I'm saying? He had a good run. He did a lot for both teams. He did a lot for the game. It's time for him to go sit down, man, and let Patrick Mahomes take over, man. Hey. And I'm a Cowboys fan. Man. I love Dak Prescott, but Patrick Mahomes got it right now, boss.
He do. Now see, you just messed the show up, man. You talking about you a Cowboy fan? Hey, the show is over, man. Cut all the lights off. Cut the camera off, cut the microphone off, man. This show is over right now. It's over. He said the Cowboy. Hey, I'm gonna let you slide with that one, man. I'm gonna let you slide, man.
Come on, Divine.
Hey, man.
Come on, Divine.
Look here, man. Look here, man. I'm gonna let you slide with that one, man. Hey, bro, let me ask you this, man. let me ask you this, bro. Man,
I'm drinking. Hold on, by the way, so people know I'm drinking apple cranberry juice. I'm not Lil Wayne.
Right. hey, bro. Hey. I'm
gonna leave it at that.
Hey, I ran out of double cups up here, man. I tell cats, I said I got either Mountain Dew, water, apple juice, some juice in that cup, man. I on there drinking, man. I said, nah, man, it ain't that kind of podcast, man. But I got them double cups. I just ran out the double cups. Bro, let me ask you this, man. This getting good, man. Where you see? Okay. No, let me ask you before I ask you this, bro. Talk about a little bit, bro. Vision Media Group, man. How that come about, man? Break that down. How you put all that together, man?
Say it one more time.
About Vision Media Group.
The iVision?
Yes, sir.
Did you say iVision Media Group?
Yeah, iVision Media Group.
Yeah. So me and my boy Elwood, man, we came up with that, man. Basically, man, we just got about 2 or 3 producers, 2 or 3 artists, and started working with them, man. We actually now under reconstruction with that iVision Media Group, man. We under construction right now. But man, me and Elwood came together. I think you met him before, man. I'm not too sure. But he out of Moscow, Tennessee, but he resides in Olive Branch, Mississippi now. Right. And me and him just decided to come together, man, and make basically it's a label. But right now we revamping it, man.
Already.
Yeah, that's how they came about.
Already. That's what I love about gospel rap. I tell cats, man, for anybody who watching this, I tell cats, I say, man, I go hard for gospel rap against any music out there. I tell cats, I love talking to the cats that's the label owners, the DJs, the producers, cause they think, oh man, gospel rap, man, what y'all boys up there rapping with suits on and shining shoes? I said, no, we ain't got no shining shoes and no suits on, man. Not over here anyway. I said, no. And so, bro, let me ask this, man. Where you see gospel rap going? We in 2021 now. I know you seen it from the beginning to now, but where you see it going into the future, man, with the sound of every way it is right now?
Well, man, again, I've been blessed to work with so many different people, man. Right now, I'm working closely with Slim Veezy.
Already.
And there's several other artists, man, that I had the privilege to kind of put under my wing in 2015, and whisper in their ear and teach them a few things.
Right.
So it is some people, and recently I had a chance to talk to some younger CHH artists, man. So I think it's going to be in good hands, but I think people like Fro, Mr. Dale, myself, Preacher Man, and the other OGs of the game, at least mentor 2 to 3 people, man, coach them up real good.
Right.
Teach them the ins and outs of the gospel industry. You know what I'm saying? The gospel rap part of the music industry.
Right.
So they'll carry the torch in a proper, in a respectable manner, man. That's my goal. Now, I'm still gonna be dropping music. I'm still gonna be producing. Still gonna be doing what I do as Majestic Soundz, the artist and producer. But I'm also gonna add Majestic Soundz, the mentor, that guy that you can call when you need advice, no matter if it's just how to handle a situation that you may be going through. It may be a personal situation.
Right.
I'm here to mentor and to guide you. I always give people my number, man. I always give people my email address. If they just need prayer, they need, man, somebody they need to vent to, I'm always here for them, and I let that be known off top. So I think gospel rap, man, in Memphis, it's gonna be left in good hands. There's a lot of good youngsters out there that they got the mind, they got the heart for it.
Right.
They just need a little guidance to go with it.
Right. Now let me ask you this. Now the young cats coming up, are they listening, man? Cause I'm gonna say that because, man, I done read across some cats, man. These boys don't like to listen, man. I'm like, and one thing I've learned is I've gotten older. And older, I'm talking about just in gospel rap and just life and period. I just give you my opinion and move on. And if you want it,
right,
cool. If you don't, that's cool too. But some of these cats like, hey man, I ain't trying to hear what you talking about. I'm gonna do this right. Then they try that right, and then they be, looking goofy after a while, and then they want to come back and say, hey man, I told you, go left, you want to go right. These cats, are they listening, man?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I say I just going to be honest with you and call out. I'm not gonna name drop, but I'll call out some year dates. You know what I'm saying? Around 2015, 2016, maybe even summer 2017. Right. I was working with a few cats, man. They just, wouldn't listen. And they end up, man, slanging mud everywhere, basically, man. Right. Bringing shame on themselves and on the cross. Right. But I still love those cats, and I wish the best for them, man. They still can call me. I'm just that type of dude. Right. If you learn your lesson and call me back and be like, hey, you told me, and hey, now I'm ready to do it the right way. And then I'll help you, man. If you come with the humble and repentance, and you come like that, then I'm going to reach back out to you and help you, man, for sure. Right. Yeah, some are hard headed though.
They are, man. And
they gotta learn the hard way.
Yeah. I tell my kids all the time, man. I got 2 daughters. I tell them all the time, especially my oldest, she 15, and I tell her all the time. I said, look, you got the life cheat code in front of you, your mom and your daddy. I said, we done been there, done that. All you gotta do is listen. Just listen. And look here, the older she get, the rawer the game I give her. Hey, this what it is. This what these boys looking for. This what the girls looking for now. I just let her know, like, hey, this what's out here. And she get the game. I told her, I said, when you confront her with, you gonna say, and somewhere in your mind you gonna say, yeah, daddy did tell me that. Now I gotta make a decision. And so it's the same thing, man. Bro, let me ask you this, man. gospel rap as a whole, man. You know, we probably hear the same thing. I always ask this question just to get, you know, perspective on these different issues. But you know, you got the gospel rappers saying, you know, they gospel. They rappers that's a Christian, or they Christian that's a rapper. You know, they didn't say, you know, gospel rap is corny. You know, on major platforms, man. And what's your thoughts on all that, man? These boys is touching these heights now. Now they talking real goofy.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Sometimes people, and I hope you don't mind me saying this.
Go ahead, bro.
Us as a people really do not support each other like we should.
I agree. I agree to that.
What happened with some of them, they went to some other complexions, and they got their support from the other complexion.
Right.
And then when they got where they was going, they disowned everybody as a whole. And that's what happened. Did you catch it?
I caught it. Look here, bro. Look at, I got the glove over here. I caught that thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because it's the truth, man. And like they say, like my grandma and them, you say it's the truth anyhow. I said, okay. I know exactly what you're saying, man. And look here, that was a good, simple answer because it's the truth. And you right, you know. Hey, I tell people all day, I'm black all day, and if somebody white watching this show, it's just issues black people we deal with. I tell people all the time that, excuse me, I've been in business for a long time, and the two issues I've seen consistently is a twofold fight every day, where we have to fight systemic stuff every day. I mean, every day. And then we have to fight amongst each other just to generate that respect, you know, so somebody walking door say, hey, I respect you enough to pay you what you asking for. You know, versus saying they coming in and saying, hey, I need a hookup. Hey, I need a reduced price. You know, they don't care about you got to feed your family. They don't care if you got to pay this lease up here. You know, we fight them fights every day. You know, you present a price, they say, I can get it down street for cheaper, trying to, you know, hustle you. I'm like, you know, this ain't the hustle center. You can't come here hustling. This is what it is. Pay the price or go on. You know, so we fight a twofold fight every day. And you right about black people, you know, not supporting. And that's one thing I pray and hope to see before the Lord take me off this earth. Black people really moving around, really supporting, and we see more black everything, you know, from the White House to the hood, and just black, just real progressive black areas, you know, and just all across the board. And I tell people all the time, for anybody watching, this one of them shows, we talk about whatever. You know, we talk about gospel rap things, but, you know, we black too all day long. And I just want black people to win and continue to win at a high level because it benefits everybody black. This black. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Boy, let me ask you this, man.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Go ahead.
Look. Other races will they'll live in a house with each other, man, until they get their money right, and then their families will split up and get their own house once they come up. Yes, sir. But us, we don't want to help, man. We gotta get away from that. So that's all I want to say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Hey, you know what? hey, you hit on the head, man. We could talk about that, and I'm talking about for a whole nother 5 hours, man. But I'm gonna jump to this next question because you telling the truth. I know. I've had those conversations with other race of people that actually done that, and they continue to do that to this day, bro. And that's how they able to get what they getting, but we just don't understand that concept. For some reason, we just won't grab that concept and say, okay, let's do that. Let's be patient, and we can all win, and we can all eat. And not just us, but our families, kids we'll never see, and they kids, and they kids, and they kids. So they continue to eat all the time. Boy, let me ask you this, man.
Right.
The overall mood of gospel rap, man. The way you see as far as the business, as far as the image of it, everything gospel rap, where you see it going, bro, the next 3 to 5, 10 years, where you see it head to?
You really want me to answer that?
Man, hey, bro, any way you want to answer, right? You got the green light over here.
Okay, well, okay then, cool beans. So, in my opinion, man, if this is a big if, man, if a few business people would grab people like some of the people I mentioned, including myself,
right?
Some of the OGs and some of the influential people in gospel, if they would grab us and pour into us and invest in us, gospel rap will go ahead and be where it should be.
I agree to that.
I know that's probably the answer you're probably not looking for, but I'm just being honest today.
Now, bro, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because man, bro, I'm with you on that, because it's for me. I tell cats, I said, man, one thing I learned over the years doing gospel rap, you know, the ministering in it, the business side of it, and one thing I learned is it take investing, it take money to move it. You know, it take money to move everything. The Bible said money answers all things. That's what it said in Ecclesiastes. You know, and then you had these cats that's like, oh man, the love of money is the root of all evil. I said, man, ain't nobody telling you do nothing evil with that money. That ain't talking about you. I said, but the one thing I've seen, I told a cat this before. A cat partner of mine wanted to go get signed with Sony. And I told him, I said, man, Sony ain't gonna sign you, man. I said, I'm not trying to discourage you. I said, but you talk a lot of Jesus, they gonna look at you and send you home. They gonna say, man, you get on out of here. Your beats sound good, but you can get on out of here. Cause that, you know, if you ain't talking about the Draco and trying to shoot 50 folks and they mamas and get the pack and flip it and all that, we ain't trying to sign you. And so then the second issue in gospel rap that I saw is, or I continue to see, is that even the gospel labels are not signing and pouring into the gospel rappers. So it's gonna take. No, they not, bro. It's gonna take. You know, I for me, I've gotten to the point of just saying, you know, I've signed myself a deal and move around like that, but it's gonna take just an influx of just money. I don't know where it's gonna come from. I don't know who gonna do it. Right, and they just gonna
break in.
Go ahead.
In on you. That's what I mean. Like, it's gonna take about 3 or 4 men or women that can come together. That got. There you go. Hold on, my battery trying to go dead.
Go ahead, bro.
Hold on 1 second, boss. So it's just, man, it's gonna take 3 or 4 different people with some money, but they gotta have some power and some connections too now. Right. And because the message is there. The message is there, man. I mean, we got the word. The word is there. We can perform. That's good too. You know what I'm saying? But the support is not there. The financial support is not there. The different places the gospel need to travel is not in the abundance. It's not an easy avenue. It's a hard avenue. Like, for instance, man, believe it or not, Central America listen to me just as much as Memphis listen to me. Right. El Salvador listens to Majestic Soundz as much as Memphis do. Mm-hmm. But how come everybody else don't listen to? Right. I know where you're going with it. You know what I'm saying? So everybody else hears me, but it's not in abundance. It's not a whole lot. So that's where the investors, that's where the promotion, the marketing, that's where all of that come into play. Like, these cats out here that's doing gospel rap,
right.
They really saying something. They got it.
Right.
So that ain't the problem. It's the other end that's the problem.
It's that money, man. And I tell people all day long, if they ask me something, I tell them, I said, man, I said the one thing I would push and continue to push every single week on this podcast is the money part. I said, we need the money. You know, a cat's like, oh man, he always asks for money. I said, man, gospel rap need money. This podcast need money, you know, to move around and to grow. Money, it make everything move around. We not naive and stupid to that. It make everything move around. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I tell him, I said, man, you know, we need, when I see the gospel labels, you just turn sideways, bro. Hold on. Did we lose them? Did we lose them?
Is it plugged?
I can hear you, bro, but I can't see you.
All right, I'm still trying to get it together. Hold tight for me.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna keep on talking till you get back on. So for those who listening, let's see, did we get me? For those who listening, gospel rap need money. We need all kind of money flying through gospel rap. Like Majestic just said, that we can rap. We can out-rap whoever out there. We can perform. We can rap. We can do all those entertainment type things, but we need somebody to say, okay, I see gospel rap, and I'm just gonna dump millions into that genre to help people move around. Now, for folks, did we lose them? I hope we didn't lose them. Let me see. I hope we didn't lose them. I'm gonna plug my head on and go back. But when they get back on, we're gonna bring them back on. But for those who listen, we just ran into some technical problems. Hopefully, Majestic get back on. But for those who listening, think about this. Think about if you go to work, if you work a job, or if you own a business. I own a business. Me and my whole family own a business. So but if you own a business or you work a job, and you go on your job and you work 30, 40, 50 hours a week, and they don't pay you, how would you feel? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, you could do the work, you could do the job, you good at your job, but they don't pay you. And then the next week come, they don't pay you. And then the next week come, you work another 40, 50 hours, they don't pay you. And then another week come, another 40, 50 hours, and they don't pay you. Eventually, you're going to be mad. You're going to be frustrated. And that's what caused in gospel rap. That's what caused a lot of artists to stop, because there's not a lot of money. Now, you have pockets of artists that's making money, that's getting it. You know what I'm saying? I don't knock them. They getting it. You know, it's not, they ain't getting no mega $1 million deals, but they doing okay. You know, and for me, and for what we do here in my city and what we do here at our label, is that we do okay. You know what I'm saying? And we do our thing, and we, like I said, I signed myself a deal, and I understand what come with that. You have to really promote and pump out what you're doing. But for the genre as a whole, you know, there's not a lot of money and resources and avenues where when an artist make a song or make a video, they can just throw that out there. And I'm not talking about just YouTube. You know, YouTube is one medium. You know, I'm talking about different mediums, different avenues, different lanes where artists can push their content into to get the support they're looking for, to get eyes looking, ears listening, so they can get more opportunities. So it's gonna take somebody or somebody's, I know I ain't say that right, but it's gonna take a lot of people to look at the genre as a whole. Let's see if we got him back on. No, not yet. To get him, let me see if we're trying to get him back on. No, not yet. I don't know what happened. Well, I'm gonna keep on talking till you get back on. But it's gonna take people to really look at the gospel rap industry genre, and to just I'm talking about pour money into, there you go, we got it back in, and to pour money back into the genre. So let me see if we can bring it back on. This show here, we're gonna run into some lumps, bumps, some speed bumps, but we're gonna keep this thing going. One thing I learned about life, you just keep moving, cause things gonna happen. You keep moving. Same thing for this podcast, you know. There you go. We got it back in there. We got it back in the game. Let's see if we got it back in the game. I see you, bro, but I can't hear you. Now we're back up. I can hear you now.
All right, cool. Yes, sir.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, we got you back in the game. Yeah. I said I was gonna talk till we get you back in there, man.
Okay, I appreciate that, man.
Oh, bro, it's all good, man. It's all good. But I was telling everybody, man, who I watch, I was just letting them know, man, what you just bouncing off what you were saying about the money part. And how, you know, we need money, and the frustrations of gospel rap come when the artists, they don't see no money. If the artists, to me, in my opinion, if the artists are truthful, because I've had conversations with artists, they want to get paid for their hard work, you know. And I think we trying to graduate out of this whole, I just do the gospel for free, and now we saying, hey man, I got to get paid. I need some money for performing and creasing up my J's on stage for a whole hour. And I drove 4-5 hours away, and I'm watching a church or organization that done brought me in raise all this offering money, and they send me home with a chicken dinner and a thank you card. Like, no, man, them days are over. You know, cats need to get paid for, you know, putting their money together. And then here's the thing, we coming to these events to entertain whoever come there, they youth department or whoever, and then they want to take up these offerings and just send you home, you know. And so I was telling, I said, man, it's like somebody working 40, 50 hours a week, and they get to the end of the week, and the people say, hey man, we ain't gonna pay you. And then the next week come, they say, we ain't gonna pay you, and they work another 50 hours, we ain't gonna pay you. I said, after a while, you gonna get frustrated, you gonna quit. Same thing for the gospel rap artists. I said, you know, gospel rap artists, if it's one thing I'm a proponent of and an advocate of, it's for gospel rappers to get paid. You know, and I'm not saying, you know, we should get millions of dollars. I ain't talking about, we ain't on that level yet. I'm talking about, but if somebody say, hey, we're going to... You
at least want to be able to take care of your family, man.
Already. And that's the thing. And then just to know, hey, I went to a show, they paid me, you know, and it feel good. It's still a morale thing, too. You know what I'm saying? Hey, they pay me X amount of dollars. I can go home, take care of my family. I can put money back on some studio time or some marketing, some more merchandise or whatever, and I can go to the next opportunity. And so for a lot of rappers that stop, you know, that's the thing. It's the money. You know, a lot of them, they won't tell the truth, but I'm like, they're like, hey man, I don't see no money. And so I don't know how long I can continue to do this rap and make no money. I'm going, I can get on stage, I can make the whole room shake, cut that beat on, and everybody, man, like, gone crazy. But
people got to understand, man, you know, the reason why some of them don't admit that it's money, because they don't want nobody to crucify them for it.
Right.
But if you be honest, man, I just say in your local church, I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yes, sir.
In your local church, if you stop paying that minister, he gonna stop preaching at some point. He may go a couple of Sundays. It ain't about the money, y'all. That's why I'm still here. And then
what he gonna do, man?
It ain't about the money, y'all. I'm still here. Then the next Sunday passed by. It ain't about the money, y'all, but I'm hurting.
Right. And then folks gonna be like, oh, Pastor Goodlow ain't been here the last 2 Sundays. Wait, I saw that joke at Target, Joker.
After a while, because Saints, I'm hurting now, Saints. I need the Lord to do something for me.
Yes, sir. Hey, you right, man. But hey, that's
look, Ron. Another thing, and God bless them. I mean, I have nothing against your secular rappers,
right?
And God, rest in peace, DMX.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying. I ain't got nothing against them. We listen to them. We be honest. We was listening to them folks.
Already, sure would.
You know what I'm saying. But guess what? some of them folks got a lot of money, man.
Yes, sir.
I ain't gonna say all. Some of them got a lot of money, and I can't say they did or they haven't, but I'm just going to assume that none of them brought anybody to Christ.
Already. Now you hitting it on the head. That's why I be telling cats, they be, the gospel rap space love to anoint and crown these cats gospel rappers, and I'm like, I ain't never seen these boys do no street ministry. I ain't never seen these boys walking them projects. I ain't never seen them boys. I'm talking about sitting in the prayer line. Man, look at me. You know what I'm talking about, man. And I say, I ain't never seen so. That's why cats be there come around me. They hear another answer, because I'm like, I said, I don't, oh man, he did this for the Lord. I said, man, I don't know, because I said, man, I actually labored in the hot sun or in the winter cold with other gospel rappers outside in the projects by the dope boys.
Man, I remember one time, man. Me, you, Charles Mayo, TCO,
right,
went to Atlanta.
I remember that.
By the time we found the event, we thought the event was over with. We pulled up, cars were still there.
They were still
right. Still there. It's midnight.
And bro, they said y'all ain't going up till 1 o'clock. I said, we here. We ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Right.
And when y'all went up, y'all rocked it.
Man, look here, man. I thank God, man. It's just when I tell cats, I said, man, when you been around cats in the gospel rap space, they actually minister this thing. I said, right. I'm real hesitant to put that gospel rap crown or that gospel rap thing on these other, especially these secular boys, man. I'm just gonna keep it a book, because a lot of them, I said, there's some of them out there. They say, oh man, dude made a song about Jesus, he a gospel rapper, or this dude made a song about God, he a gospel rapper. I said, man, I don't care about that stuff, man. I said he or she, they not in front of these cameras saying, I am a gospel rapper. I am a Christian hip hop artist, and what I do, I'm in line with the other Christian hip hop gospel rap artists. I said, I ain't seen that yet. I said, so if I ain't seen that, I'm real hesitant to say, hey man, that dude this or that dude that. I said, I don't do that, man. And cats are, oh man, you judging or hating or pointing the finger. I said, I'm not pointing the finger. I'm not hating. No.
It's best for me not to even speak on it and just continue doing what I'm doing for God.
That's it, bro. That's it. That's it. Cause I tell cats, I said, man, I said after you've been in it so long, and I'm talking about some shows, I know for me, I've been in some venues where it's thousands of folks. And man, I've been outside where it's a couple of folks. I'm talking about a handful of people. And you know what I'm talking about. And then the next show, they say, hey man, come out here and minister in the middle of the projects. And you like, man, where we at, Joker? We in the projects for real. And them boys looking at you like, man, what you doing out here? And they looking at you like, you ain't from around here, And so I say, until I see them do that, then I can't put that on them boys. I'm glad you brought that point up, because I'm like, now, because a lot of cats, we talking about DMX a little bit, but some folks say, oh, he got something. I said, man, I'm gonna have that discussion another time and another day. I said, because he ain't saw what I seen first with the gospel rappers. I'm talking about the gospel rappers really ministering, really doing that. Really, hey, I'm talking about rapping, and they say, hey, cut the music off, because we gotta talk about the Lord a little bit. I'm talking about really ministering,
Right.
And so, but yeah, man. Bro, let me ask you this, man. We didn't hit that hour, man. This thing was good, man. And look at, bro.
All right.
We gotta get you back on sooner than later, man. I thank God, because we just started this thing back in October, and we trying to get the show number 100, and then 500, and then 1,000 to keep this train moving, man. Let me ask you this, bro.
Right.
What's next for Mr. Purple, man?
Well, man, I'm dropping, man, right now. I'm working on my solo album. I'm going to release it. I'm going to say September, man. September, solo album will be out. I'm also working with Slim Visa and Paul Gilbert. Paul Gilbert is going to release an EP. It should have like 3 or 4 songs on it.
Right.
And then Slim should have a full album as well. I'm not sure on a date on his album that he's going to release. But I'm also making beats for Young Titan, man. Young Titan, he hit me up, so I got a couple of beats I'm making for him right now, man. So I'm also working with a woman out in UK, the United Kingdom, out of London.
Right.
She has a talk show, man, and she need some music for a talk show, man. So I'm also got that going on. Also, man, I got a radio interview coming up in Indiana here in a few weeks. And I also got a talk show with that same radio station. So that particular radio station is going to give me and Slim V's an hour talk show.
Already.
So, yeah, man, I stay busy, man. I stay busy. So,
yes,
as far as music is concerned, I say September. I have the whole project done. The name of the project is Coming Hard Out of Singing. I will have a single somewhere in July. I should have the single out. So, man, just stay tuned, man. You will see some music real soon.
Yeah,
and of course, you already know we got the Double Anointed already out. Me and Slim V's the album we did together. Now, How You Roll is the song you was referring to.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that thing smoking and bumping, man. That thing had the catfish jumping out the Mississippi River, laying on side of that bridge on what's that, I-30, I-40. That thing bumping, man. That thing, I said, yeah. So look here, man. Look here, I'm one of them cats, man. If I hear it, I got to let you know, man. And so
yes, sir.
I remember when I heard it. Yes, sir. I remember when I first heard Slim Veezy. He did a song with Preacher Man.
Yeah.
That what's that one? I got
Get It.
Yeah,
Get It.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I said, man, who this dude Slim Veezy back there, man? Look at. Hey. You already know how Preacher gonna come, but I said, man, who was this Slim Veezy on the side? Look at, it's kind of like, you know, you want that cat in the fight with you, and you look to the side, and he throwing them blows with me. Yeah. Slim throwing them blows.
Yeah, man, that's my dude, man.
Yes, sir.
I actually recorded Slim Veezy vocals and emailed it over to Preacher Man, and he loved it. He was like, "Woo wee!"
Yes, sir.
He loved it, man. So,
yes, sir.
Yeah, man. We love working with Preacher Man. He got a song with me too. I'm gonna go and release that joint on the album too. So you're gonna hear some more from us, man. You're gonna hear a lot more from us.
Already, man. Keep cooking, dog. Keep cooking, man. Hey, bro. And look here. You got me. I got to get to Memphis, man. I got to get in that studio with you, man. Hey, man, look here. Look, I can't let you, man. Y'all boy, look here, man. Look here. I'm working on some mixtape music right now. I'm talking about right now, man. I got in the studio, man. I'm just trying to crank and get this thing going, man. I got to get to Memphis and get in that studio, sit down. I'm just gonna hand pick, and then I'm gonna say, "What's your cash out?" And then we're gonna cash app you. And then I'm gonna get back on that road, man, and put that thing over and pull some gumbo out that thing, man.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Cool beans, man.
Yes, sir. I got to get down there, man.
Yes, sir. You got my information. Just hit me up, man, and we'll talk it up, man, about when you come down.
Already. Hey, before we get off, man, tell everybody how they can follow you, man.
Man, I'm so easy to find. The best thing to do is go to Google and type in Majestic Soundz. That's MAJESTIC Soundz with a Z at the end of Sounds. SOUNDZ. All of my music will pop up. Very easy to find. Just follow me on IG. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Man, I'm on some of everything. So you're going to see me on Apple. You're going to see me on Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it, I'm on there.
Already. But we're going to get off this thing, bro. And right, hey, I'm going to hit you. Hey, man, it ain't no but love, man. I tell cats all the time, man. Look here. I know I had you on my short list, man. So I had to get you on, man. It was just timing. That's all it was. It was just back and forth timing. And so, I know everybody busy, man. I said, man, everybody busy moving around. But, bro, I got to get my butt in Memphis, man. I'm just going to sit in there. I'm just going to hand pick them out and get on back to the crib with them, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We're going to get off this thing, man.
All right, man. Hey, be blessed, man. And, man, I'm waiting on that phone call, man.
Yes, sir. Already. That's Majestic Soundz. Listen, man, we're gonna get off this thing, man. But before we do, we doing all this. Look, I'm a one-man show up in here. You know, man, listen, I love doing this podcast, man. I love everything about it. That's my dog. But man, look here, man. I love everything about gospel rap, man. If y'all been following us, y'all already know, you know. And one thing we do here on this show is we highlight who doing it. You know what I'm saying? We highlight the artists, the DJs, the promoters, the influencers every week, every Thursday, every Friday. We bring a guest on. And tomorrow night we bringing on another guest all the way from Miami, Florida. And so, excuse me. And so we bringing another guest on. But do us a favor. Listen, if you are an artist and you looking to come on the show, look at the bottom. You see all the information scrolling down at the bottom. Just send us your info. We lock you in. We put you in the game. If you watching the show, if you like what we doing, listen, we need some financial contributions. Any amount would do. You see the Cash App info. If you look at the bottom, you see the Cash App info. You see the VENMO info. You see the PayPal info. Any amount would do to help us stay on this, to keep this show going. And also, if you want to help out with our digital street team, look at the bottom. You see email down there. Send your information. We're just looking for people that's ready to work. They love what we're doing. They ready to work. They hard. They believe in hard work and all that good stuff pertaining to work. Just email us at the bottom. We send some info back. And other than that, man, we're gonna get off this thing, man. This been show number 38. And man, again, man, continue to share, like, and comment what we're doing, man. If you have any questions, email or inbox, and we can get back to you as fast as we can. If you have any questions about the show, want to get on the show, soon we have ads and sponsorship and all that stuff running through the show. We're working on all that good stuff. It just takes time to, to everything to happen. It takes time, but we are working on some things. We're not rushing things. We're just taking our time, make sure everything is, all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. And so, man, again, man, thank y'all for rocking with us, man. Thank y'all for checking out what we do every week, because you could have been doing anything else, but you decided to come on here and check out how we getting down and what we doing. And so we're going to get off this thing every week. We give y'all the double chunk and the boom boom, and we're going to get off this thing. We're going to see y'all tomorrow night.